Welcome back, guys. Today's video is in the Sorrows verse. This is one of the best 600 RPM auto rifles that I see nobody used. I only see Cakes ever use this gun, and you can basically turn it into an SMG. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I put a lot of depth into it, and I have a lot of explanation. I do really apologize for the next explanation, though. I am really congested and slightly still sick. So some of the things can get a little bit mumbled and pushed around because my nose is basically fully clogged. So if you have any questions on this, just put them in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you in a few minutes or a few hours. I hope you guys love this. I'm going to get into the stat review and then we'll get into the main review after. Thank you, and here you go. Because the recoil on this gun is 53. Which is not too great, but it's not horrible. And it can be used with its really clean sight, which is one of the main reasons you want to use this gun. This gun's sight is basically an SMG, because it has 16 zoom, and the recoil pattern is not absolutely awful. You could be using it as an SMG, with a 16 zoom in close range. It'll be feeling like a 600 SMG. In this gun's normal range, without that many range buffs, is about 29 meters. You could probably push this out with a max range thing to 33 meters or slightly less. So it's going to make that hand cannon a little bit, like a few meters better than an SMG at max range. But the other SMGs, like the multi-mac, that would probably be better than this gun and be used in the spot, are extremely hard to farm, and almost nobody can get. So for the perks, this gun is very special. I actually had to roll Frenzy, which is one of the most low-key meta perks in the game, which I don't not understand why nobody uses, because this perk lets you go on streaks, like Madman. Dynamic Sway Reduction is going to be a top-tier perk for the first section. This is going to make your accuracy as you're shooting even better. And when you're hip firing, nobody's talked about this, but the accuracy gets better. So it's basically SMG hip fire. And this is amazing. I had this on the Summoner, and it really worked. Even though the Summoner is not very good, hip firing it felt amazing. Moving target is top tier. I've seen Cakes talk about it on some SMG 600 RPM videos, and it is absolutely amazing. It can turn SMGs into ARs and make ARs feel even better. This perk is really low-key meta, and you need to be using this. So I see a lot of people go for Killing Wind, but this would not be my first pick. Unless you're running Frenzy and you're an absolute slayer in the Crucible, I would not recommend this. As a console player, I'll be going Dynamic Sway Reduction, but another option is Surplus. So if you don't get the best handling in this first slot, Surplus is really going to help that quick handling, and if you're on controller, the stability is really going to help. And on keyboard and mouse, don't think stability doesn't matter. It truly does. It makes the gun feel so much more crispy. It just allows you to beam kids. Weird role for PvP is Harmony and tap the trigger. So this would make it so you switch from your shotgun, and instantly you have a way better feeling gun because tap the trigger will be activating right away. And also Harmony is going to be giving you that 25 or 30% buff to your gun, which is going to make you absolutely beam kids. And also, don't sleep on tunnel vision or heating up. These perks are really good for good streaks. So if you want to go multi-kill clip, heating up, or tunnel vision, I'd probably recommend tunnel vision more, but that's a really good Slayer thing. And as the new changes and mobilities change with the supers and everything, it's not the worst thing to go for Wellspring or Demolitionist. I know these perks aren't the most looked at. You'd ever have a damage perk or something, but don't sleep on these. Grenades are extremely good at this point. And if you're running a grenade build, Demolitionist is almost a must. So, what I was talking about before, the new ability changes. They've changed it around how supers work and how primary getting kills matters. So, doing damage to this gun is going to give you more... It's going to give you super energy like every other primary. But if you want to go for Thresh, for those kills after the new buff with primaries getting more super energy, you can get your super extremely fast because it's the primary and it's running Thresh. It is not a void gun, so you cannot use Netherrack Sin to get an absolutely crazy build, but you can still use Bottom Tree Golden Gun to get a crazy super build. And then my main goal on this gun is I really like Frenzy. I would love to have Dynamic Frenzy, but I do have Tap the Trigger Frenzy. Tap the Trigger and Elemental Capacitor with a stasis subclass is gonna turn this gun into an SMG basically. You're gonna be going back and forth really fast. With the SMG scope, it's gonna feel amazing. It's gonna be truly a beamer. And also Elemental Capacitor Dynamic could also work. So, and Rampage is always good. Don't be too upset if you get Dynamic Rampage or Tap the Trigger Rampage. This gun is extremely slept on, is as you notice, the aim assist is 6 higher than the Summoner, which is very underlooked, and actually is a very important stat. Which this is one of the reasons why Sunshot does not feel well. And this might be a previous video or the video before this. I have not posted the Sunshot video yet, so I do not know which where it's going to be. This gun has a good amount of range, but not like a great amount of stability. So you might want to look for steady rounds if you're a controller. But if you're a PC, you're gonna want something that slightly increases stability or recoil direction. So recoil direction is a secret perk really that nobody really talks about, which really feels amazing when you have that vertical recoil. So if you want to use Arrowhead Break and even a counterbalance mod, you're going to have 100 recoil direction. It's just going to go straight up and down. It's going to absolutely beam. But I think my favorite role is the Corkscrew Rifling, because it's really just the most balanced perk set, and it gives you the most value. Having 15 in stat of value really helps, and can really boost the stat of this gun. So Corkscrew, Accurized, Tap the Trigger, or Dynamic with Frenzy or Elemental Capacitor would be my god roll. And I would probably go for Range Masterwork or a Stability Masterwork. Either or if you're like a controller or a keyboard and mouse. This gun feels amazing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm going to get into the general review. Here you go, guys. For the general review part of this section, I'm just going to tell you how to use this gun and what my general thoughts are on this gun. I really believe this is one of the best auto rifles in the game. Even though 600 auto rifles aren't in the best spot, this gun could really shine in 6v6, with its perks like Frenzy or Elemental Capacitor. Which I really main drag to this gun was Elemental Capacitor and many of the first perks, like Dynamic Sway Reduction. This combo can basically turn it into an SMG. Elemental Capacitor is one of the best perks for an auto rifle because it makes the strafe speed better on a stasis character. And even if you're on an arc character, it'll give it max handling, but this is not the main reason I wanted it. Dynamic Sway Reduction also improves hipfire greatly. It is one of the best hipfire perks in the game. I would love to see Bungie put this perk on many other guns or in other sorts of ways. Like if they could add it to hand cannons in some sort of, after a certain amount of shots, the gun starts feeling better, would be really cool. Because this perk kind of breaks the game. Dynamic Sway Reduction is basically a bloom deterrent. It backwards blooms, so the longer you shoot, the better bloom you have, which is one of the most underrated perks in the whole game, because it basically breaks the main mechanic of the game. As you know, a gun like a hand cannon or something, the longer you shoot it, the worse and worse the bloom goes, and the bloom cone expands, and you start missing more and more shots, even though they're on target. But with Dynamic Sway Reduction, the longer you shoot the gun, the straighter the gun shoots, which is kind of broken in a sense. But it really works to help out ARs, because they are a struggling class, because they do not work with peaking angles, which is one of the main strengths of a hand cannon, and is the reason why hand cannons have always dominated. To final off this review, I want to really tell you that this is probably the best AR in my opinion. The Gnawing Hunger is a close second if you get Arrowhead Break, but I do not have this roll at the moment. I used to, but I deleted it. So, I think this is a good AR, but in no way I'm saying this is the greatest gun in the game. This can barely fit in the meta. Because of the hand cannon's peak potential versing this gun, it almost has no competition. Unless you're on a controller, or you're playing against pretty unfamiliar people to the game. But in 6v6, that's normally what's going on. So this is one of the best guns in the game, just to truly beat people out in a TTK basis. I know I've been talking for almost 10 minutes, and now I'm gonna get into the gameplay. It would mean so much to me if you like and subscribe. This would help the channel out greatly, and really improve the numbers of the analytics. I've been putting a ton of work into editing and photoshopping my thumbnails. Thank you for watching, it would mean so much to me if you guys had an amazing day. Goodbye, guys! From that. I get a deficit in the fight, and I was coming back. They just didn't let me. I'm gonna try to click this way. What? What? He's insane! He's crazy. Peek me. I need frenzy. There we go. We're on the streak, boys. Oh my goodness. We're off it? That was unbelievably close. So once you get that frenzy going, you can't be stopped. You need like a full team. You need multiple people to stop you. You're a menace to society. Oh my god, that was our grenade. I had a really good streak right there. I got crapped on by that grenade, but unfortunate. Probably a stack of people. I don't know how many they are, but I guess I'll peek their zone. Got their head. It's just so crispy that it's unbelievable. Maybe I should put a chappy on, but I'm one of the douche, so I should put a chappy on and just take their whole life down. Can you get I don't know if you can get ricochet on this. I don't think so. That's my guy right there. Whoa, whoa. My... I gotta get out of here. Luckily, that wasn't a good player. He should have frozen a little bit earlier, damn it. He's just so good, isn't it? Have to just shoot a little bit when I'm not paying attention. When I can't see anything, which is unfortunate, but it's just... If I was gonna get that kill, I was gonna die if I didn't start spamming around. I'm an ape. Oh no, I can't, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Nope. Who must just fell off the map there? That would be a miss. We need to get out of here. That thing's still gonna be chasing. We do not want to get caught in that. This has been a really good game, and now this guy's gonna die. What is this madness? I'm gonna throw this grenade here because we probably know he's gonna push. I probably shouldn't have peeked that, but we do have frenzy now. I'm gonna frenzy peek it. Oh no, bro. You know, I just want to get in the tear with a frenzy trick. Like I'm not getting it that much. This is really disappointing. We're out. We'll let one come out by itself. Let's frenzy it. I need to get into their angle over here. I don't need to die though. No. I did get shot though, which is. We're on the frenzy streak.